Namaste. Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana. I am an intuitive reader and healer, lover of all things metaphysical, esoteric. Today, Tuesday, is my live reading day, and there is a lot that's going on out there in the ether right now. We are still within the 72 hours. So 72 hours within the full moon energy. We're still living in the full moon energy. The full moon energy has shifted from Pisces into Aries. And so really kind of interesting for me personally when I just want to get my waxing and wanings lined up. When the waning energy is in a fiery sign, it feels a little bit out of alignment, and there's been quite a few different feelings of that out of alignmentness that I've been picking up on over the last 24 hours. So who knows what's going to show up in readings today. Today I'm going to focus on, I was going to use two separate decks, but I've decided what I'm going to do today is to use the Muse Tarot. The Muse Tarot, to me, feels like a creative tarot. It's very much, it's a feminine deck, yet it's a creative deck. And so it has this really interesting blend of fiery and lunar energy, which feels kind of perfect because when we are moving into the energy of the equinox, we want to be picking up on the medicine of the equinox itself, which is seeking our balance. And so I'm going to pull a card for, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to pull a card for the yin, a card for the yang, and something in between. And I have the Illuminated Earth Oracle on the table, which is going to be the something in between. And as we move into the energy of Mabon in the Northern Hemisphere. And for those of you that are celebrating the vernal equinox, I want to acknowledge you as well too. And I don't believe the energy of equinox energy is one of balance. And so whether we are in the Northern or the Southern Hemisphere, that's kind of where we would all benefit from finding some medicine, if you will. And so the cards today are going to focus on how can I bring more balance into my divine feminine energy? How can I bring more balance into my active solar divine masculine energy? And, what is the overarching theme of this particular equinox for me, which will come from the Oracle card. And if you have a question that is totally unrelated to this, that's, as always, that's fine as well too. You can post your question in the comments, and depending on how busy the chat is, I will, do a group reading as well too. So hello, Mystics Haven, Joy of Divination, Andrew Well-Tempered Claire, Namaste, Parboni Artist, hello and welcome. Okay, so yeah, what I would like to do, hello Hope. Yes, of course, I'm happy to answer your question as well too, and most people that are early in the chat, yeah, anything goes. And so if you want to work with the energy of the equinox, let me know and I can do a reading with that. So happy to support you wherever you are at on your journey. Hello to Clara, welcome, namaste. Hey there, Liz. Welcome. I am going to be adding a few more mods just before I get started. So Janine is a mod, and I wanted to just quickly address this off the top. So towards the end last week, we had a troll invasion, and Janine asked in the comments, what is a troll and how do you recognize a troll? So if you have not been in a chat where there have been rude and inappropriate comments, often they are copied and pasted repeatedly It feels like somebody who's not a member of the community. They aren't aware of what's going on. They shift the mood of the conversation. It's usually quite apparent, Janine. So I'm guessing by your question that you haven't been in a chat where this has happened. And last Tuesday here, we were inundated toward the end of the hour. And so that's why you have been added as a moderator. And I'm going to add Liz, if that's okay. Now, all you do, I'm just going to go over here. All you do is you go to, on the chat, you go over to the right of the person's name and 3 little dots will come up. And there is, if you scroll down, it says hide user on this channel. If you are a moderator, you have that option. And so Donna's a mod, Andy's a mod, Andrew's a mod, and Liz is now a mod. So yeah, and if I need to add more people, I will. So yes, Maybon blessings to everyone. And yeah, so I put some virtual leaves and decorations up there. And I want to thank all of you who've been supporting the channel through joining as a member. Those of you who have signed up for classes, we have a small group that are going to start next Sunday with Read With Me 1, which is the class that's scrolling across the bottom right now. This is a lovely class if you're fairly new to reading tarot, to really learn how to work questions and help people with questions. The art of asking good questions takes years to build, and this is a great class for that. If you're I mean, some beginners feel a little overwhelmed in the class, but I would encourage you to jump right in. It is a fairly short class, and the exercises are going to help you whatever level that you are at. I've had experienced readers take this class as well as beginners. Yeah. All right. And there was a request before Hope, so I'm just going to go back. Maybe it was Hope that was the first one. No, it's Mystic's Haven. Okay. And as always, if there's anybody whose name, I'm just checking my list here. Anybody whose name that I don't know, please feel free to type it in the chat. Yeah. Beautiful day between the full moon and the equinox. Yes. For sure, Clara, your question is very early in the chat, so I'm happy to answer your question. Hello to Ishi, namaste, welcome Ishi. Riva Sen, namaste, hello to you. Selena, Snowfox Tarot, hello, welcome. Jamie, hi there, how are you? I am just double checking. Yes, I've got names right. Did I miss anybody else coming in? I will do my best to greet everybody as you arrive. And that's lovely too, you know, the mods. That's one of the great things that mods can do is to greet people, because sometimes I miss when I'm busy focused on readings. Okay. So I'm going to start with Teresa, Mystic's Haven. And Teresa, I'm going to do the spread that it's not really a spread, but this kind of what I explained earlier. Okay, so I'm going to pull your overarching, your oracle card first. And this is the general mood of the equinox. And then I'm going to pull two tarot cards. This is from the Illuminated Earth Oracle. This is the card of patience. The card of patience. And I can zoom in a little bit so you can see. There are crystals. It's such a gorgeous deck. The crystals are emerging. And you know, if you think about it and you think about the formation of crystals and how long that process takes, this is such a perfect energy for that. So the card on the left is the yin energy. This is the divine feminine side. So how or what focus on your more receptive energy? Where would you benefit from placing focus in your receptive side? And then we'll do the active side as well too. Okay. Six of Voices. I'm really intrigued with the art of this card. And I can make the cards bigger as well too. So why don't I do that? Because I know you guys like to see you guys love to see the cards. Why don't I do this? Nope, that's not going to work. Okay. Make the cards a little bit smaller. We'll just get this. Here we go. So look at that gesture, Teresa. Look how she has the salt on her hand. This is the feminine side. So we have a masculine suit, right? We have a solar active suit on the left side, but it is the 6. It's the card of harmony. And I love how she is, there's something about the salt in the hand, the whole idea of ritual. And so what I want to, and there's this blue circle, like this moon up here. It feels like the message is something to the effect of moving forward. So that the 6 of Swords, of course, is a card of moving forward, moving on. But there is some action that you need to take to move through this. Salt is a symbol of purification. It is a basic element of alchemy. Let's see what the balancing card is. Okay, we're in the suit of voices. So 2 cards in the suit of voices, both cards in the suit of air. And this doesn't feel very balanced, right? It feels like we are both. And I want to kind of go to what I was saying. So the card on the left is the divine feminine. The card on the right is the divine masculine. And the question here is, where do I need to put some energy to bring myself into balance as I work through this week, and so I can embrace the energy of the equinox? And so the divine feminine is inviting you into some kind of a ritual, wanting you to move through something. You know, that there's a pull here. There's an energetic pull to move forward from spirit. And then on the solar side, there is an act of surrender. So 10 of Voices always is a challenging card, but sometimes we need to let go. Now, this is a theme. I've been listening to quite a few astrologers over the last couple of days, and there is a very strong letting go theme that is out there, and we would all deeply benefit from this act of surrender. Why do we have to be so in control all the time? We don't need to know. And if you look at both cards, there's a sense of not knowing what is next in either card, but either card indicates spirit on the other side of the portal. And then the card in the center is one of patience. So your message is one of release, let go, trust. I would create a sign, whatever your first language is, I'm assuming it's English, and to put up some kind of a trust sign. Know that you are moving forward, but there's an action that you need to take. There's some things to be released and let go of. And maybe there's a ceremony around the letting go. And to do this with some devotion and patience. Okay. Okay. Helen, I'm sorry your question was deleted. If you want to post your question again, I'd love some guidance on my spiritual journey, whatever comes through. Can you retype your question? Thank you. Okay. Andrew says, I'm just going to go down. This Muse and Illuminated Earth are very Libra energy. And so I'm just referring to my resource here. So the sun moves into Libra in about 24 hours, right? In about 24 hours we'll be there. And you've got all this air as well too. So I feel like you're very much in alignment, Teresa, with this upcoming Libra energy as well too. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to Hope next. Oh, you're so welcome, Teresa. Okay. You like this combo of decks, Claire? Yeah, I really like it too. Okay. So we are going to, when will I see an improvement in health? When? Okay. So I'm not going to do what I, when? When? This is a very, Hope, that's a challenging question to ask with a health reading. The tarot likes to speak in metaphor. I'm going to do my best to work with your specific question. So I want to send lots of love and light around Hope. And I just want to focus on Hope here and connect with Hope's energy. I don't know what's going on with your back, Hope, but I can feel a lot of pain in your back, a lot of radiating pain. And it feels strange. It feels diagonal. I feel the radiation going from the right shoulder diagonally down to the left pelvis, which is a strange pattern of energy, unusual pattern. So that's going from right to left. And there's an absence of energy. So the cross doesn't go in the other direction. There's no energy going from the left shoulder to the right hip. Okay. So let me know if there's anything going on with your back, please. Yeah, I feel like you've been in a car accident or something like that. That's what it feels like to me. And I want to share with you something that came up in a reading yesterday as well too. But let's pull your cards first. I'm going to pull 3 cards for Hope, and we're going to look at the energy of Hope's healing journey. So we have the Wheel. I'm going to pull 3 cards, and the Queen of Voices, and the Knight of Inspiration. Okay, so that's Knight of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the Wheel. And I'm going to shuffle the Illuminated Earth Oracle as well, too. So the Wheel doesn't have any strong astrological associations. It's not the primary card for any sun sign. The Queen of Voices is cardinal air. Okay, so we can use that for information. And the Knight of Wands is mutable fire. So mutable fire would indicate Sagittarius. Somebody help me. Cardinal air. Cardinal air. Because sometimes we can get information through that. But I also want to look at the message here of your healing journey and what this is about, and also see if you've posted anything in the chat. Oh, Helen, I believe that your question was deleted. So I just want you to retype your question. I can see it, but other people in the chat cannot see it. Okay? So cardinal air is Libra. That's what I was thinking. And then the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius. So if I look at this as just straight up timing, it feels like, there's a change, and this energy, it feels like soon. That's what it feels like. But that just feels way too simplistic. And so I want to look at what this is about. So I was kind of hoping you would talk about your back. Oh, I have many issues and symptoms. Been unwell for 11 years. No accident. Okay. So 11. The 11 is significant. The 11 represents 11 years represents, right? So 11s are about, it's 1 and 1. It's about balance. 11 in itself is a master number. It could very well mean that this cycle is coming to a close and that there will be a shift of frequency. The way that you are feeling is going to shift soon. The way that you are feeling is you're going to experience something different for sure. The fact that you have the Wheel card, and then both of these cards represent astrological signs that are near, right? Near in time chronologically. But I need so much more information, and what I would love to do with you in a personal reading is to explore the underlying causes of your 11-year journey. And that's not something that I can do here today. Because underneath this 11-year cycle, there's probably quite a few things that you would benefit from releasing, unprocessed stuff. So the way that I work is there's always lingering emotional trauma in the body, and that likely needs to be released. Wrong deck, I'm shuffling. I'm going to pull an oracle card for you. So there's a few more things I want to say. I want to also, because the Queen of Voices is there, I want to look at issues of the thyroid, and that if you have thyroid issues, and also we've got the Knight of Wands. So I don't know if you've done reading about leaky gut. And this has to do with cleaning up your digestion. But a lot of the physical symptoms that manifest in the body are a result of poor diet. And there's so many wonderful people on YouTube that approach health and wellness through, I mean, they're just so very, very informative. So this is very random, okay? And I'm not giving medical information, but the Queen of Voices would indicate, like if I'm looking at medical stuff, would indicate thyroid issues or throat issues. And the Knight of Wands would indicate digestion gone awry. The fire in the digestion is out of balance. So I know both of these. Yeah, I don't want to say anymore because this is such a big question. If you want to contact me personally, I'm happy to go a little deeper in this. Andrew feels this is geographical. Like hyperactive Manipura chakra, hyperactive solar plexus chakra. Right? So this would be about calming the digestion. The oracle card is upheaval. And upheaval really connects to the change card. And I want to say that there's significant change that you would need to make to shift the energy in your body. Yeah. Hi, Mimi's Tarot and Gems. Welcome. Okay. I need to leave that. I need to leave your reading, Hope. So I hope there's been something there that you can connect with that we've said today. And thank you for everyone in the chat who's been supporting Hope as well too. Okay, so I'm going to go to Clara. And Clara, thank you. Thank you for joining the Read With Me 1 class. I'm looking forward to seeing your face and connecting with you in person. That's one of my favorite things about teaching the tarot classes that I teach is that personal connection and getting to know people. If you still have time, could you please ask for advice on how to best use the energy of the full moon to get rid of my long-term bad habits? Okay, so Clara, this is a how question. How to release. How to release. So we can transform through fire, right? We can throw things into the fire and burn them. We can bury them. We can offer them up to spirit, to God. There's, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for Clara. The question is how to release these long-term bad habits. How to release long-term bad habits. Okay. Hello, Leafy. Namaste. Okay. Look at this beautiful card. Okay. I'm pulling so much out of this card, Clara. First of all, the roses. Okay, Liz, we'll see you later. See you another time. So the roses feel like love and self-care. It feels like prioritizing self-care, not removing the notion that Self-care is self-indulgent. There's no place for words like that when it comes to self-care. You are the most important person in your life, and you need to look after yourself. And so those roses speak to that. They speak to the love and the care of self. And then we have a 2, right? So the 2s are about that. And this particular 2 speaks of all the 2s, mostly to balance. And here we are at the equinox. You're asking this question at the equinox. So it feels like asking this question at this time of alignment is a perfect time to do that. Okay, I'm going to put this card to the side because I feel like this spread, this quasi spread that I created for today is going to give you some more information. So I want to look at the overall information from the Illuminated Earth Oracle. And then I'm going to ask for, look at this. Doesn't this look like self-care? I know the key word is reflection. This is about going a little bit deeper into yourself. Facing, admitting, acknowledging. Sometimes we just have to say, we have to put language around what the issue is. And also that reflection might help you to find the root of why you made these choices in the first place. The other thing I want to say too is that the kind of question you're asking is deeply connected to the Devil card. And when this energy comes up, we need to know joy. We need to feel joy and know how to feel joy without moving into the realm of excess. And so it's about balancing that. It's about balancing pleasure and pain, right? Okay, so these cards, this is a magnetic cut. We have a repeating card. So we have the 6 of Voices on the feminine side. And when I was talking about self-care, and this one has the salt, so the woman's got the salt in her palm. What I want to suggest is that, I see Andrew's question. What I want to say is that put salt in your bath. Focus on the energy of salt as purification. Maybe there's something about, I don't know, saltwater cleansing of some kind. But both the Six of Swords, the 6 of Voices, and the card in the center are about moving towards spirit. So perhaps through reflective practices, right? Meditative walking, whatever level of meditation you're ready to tackle is going to help you with these issues, okay? Your active side is the Hermit, which is not very active. So all of these cards speak to going in. They're all about turning in. So if you don't have a support team, if you don't have a counselor or other people, the answer is not by looking out. You're not going to find the answer by looking out. The answer will be found by looking in and turning in. And with the 6 of Voices over there, it feels, and I can never get away from this with this 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords thing. The pettiness of the hurt, the angry words, the way that you were spoken to as a child, you need to let that go. Releasing. This is a time also of releasing, forgiving. So perhaps there's a part of this reflection is to forgive. And this is not about forgiving actions. This is about releasing the power that your memories have over you. Okay. I look so forward to meeting you next Sunday. Namaste, Clara. I like what Katie said. The negative self-talk, bye-bye. That's beautiful. Hello, Joseph. Welcome. Namaste. And Katie says, I feel like this reading was meant for me. Wow, that's beautiful. Andrew had a random question I want to ask. He asked, do I have any tattoos? I do not. I do not. And the only tattoos that I have seriously considered were either getting my eyebrows or my eyeliner tattooed. Yeah, I don't have any. Yeah. Okay, where are we at? Parbani. I would love to know what I can do to steer my art career to be more satisfying for me in every way. Cool question. And this is a perfect deck for that kind of question. Perfect deck for that. Okay. So let's shuffle. I'm going to scroll on down. Okay. All right, love and light. Let's surround Parbani with love and light. This card in the deck that flipped over, but it's buried. Okay, that was a very intentional cut. Okay, so the Oracle card is attachment. That's a big, I'm just looking to see if I can find the Oracle card that flipped. Because it was if there is one. Well, maybe not. Maybe I went the right way back up. Okay. Oh, no, it's the last card. Okay, so the card that kind of went out of, that flipped over was this one, Evolution. And this looks like, this is really cool. This is, to me, looks like it's under the sea. So this is deep, deep under the sea. And this is, at the top of the card, we have a mandala. We have the flower, right? The flower of life. It's like we have the magic and the mystery under the water, and then we have the heavens above. The keyword is evolution. So there's something about both of these cards. I'm going to try to weave that in and then pull some tarot cards. And with attachment, it's always attachment to outcome. Attachment to outcome. So let's read these two cards together, right? So your work is wanting to grow organically in a way that you may be resisting. Okay, so here's what I'm picking up on. You may feel that your clients or your whatever, your clients, your audience, your market wants or expects a certain product. And I feel like these cards are saying, let yourself be more guided, less structure, more freedom in the art. Okay, let's pull a couple tarot cards. Hello, Lydiane. Welcome. And I'm still reflecting on that tattoo question, because there are so many, many esoteric symbols that mean so much to me. I feel like my whole body, oh my God. Yes. On last weekend, I went to a spa. It was a gift from the owner of the store where I do readings. And I went with a couple. So we went to the spa. And we were in the hot tub area. So there's some mineral pools and hot tub. And there was this beautiful young woman, gorgeous body, whose bikini, barely a bikini, was perfectly decorating. I don't know if that's the right word, highlighting her tattoos. So she had a gorgeous tattoo, like a mandala in her cleavage. And then the way that her other tattoos were on her body were just so balanced and beautiful. It was just breathtaking. It was breathtakingly beautiful. Yeah, so I want to say that was the most beautiful tattooed person I have ever seen. It was so gorgeous. And her sleeves were just the perfect amount, not overdone, just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Okay, I want to focus now on Parvani and go back to you. I apologize for my little wandering away. So these tarot cards that I'm going to pull are going to help Parvani to understand what this evolutionary process, the shift in the art, wants to be. So let's let the art choose the cards. Let's let the spirit of the art choose the cards. Four of Voices. Interesting. Okay, so we have lots of water here. So we have 4 of air and 9 of water. And in both of these cards, the humans have surrendered. And so it feels like we've already got the answer with the oracle cards. So, maybe this is about painting blindfolded, or this is about just letting the art take on a life of its own, not being guided by structure or teachings that you have. The art wants more freedom. The art wants to be free. And the way that you worded this, more satisfying for me in every way. So that's what it feels like. The art wants to let go. 4 of Voices is not only a card of rest, but it's also a card of integration. And the 9 of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. So allow your emotions to guide you as well too. So listen to that inner voice, that inner emotional voice, that inner emotional intelligence. It knows. Oh, I'm so glad, Parvani. Okay, good. Good, good, good. All right. Okay. I'm going to go to the next question. Shine, hello. I did not see you come in. Okay. And I know Helen is next. I just need to, I will highlight Helen's question next. I always find your wandering away stories really interesting, so I don't mind it at all. Oh, thank you. Good to know. If we can all take a deep breath, surround, shine with illumination, light, and love, guiding her, them on their way to balance and peace, fulfillment and love. Okay, so we're going to work with the energy of plants. Plants. On a very practical level, and I'm not sure where you're from, Shine, but is there a gardener? Is there somebody who's involved in ecosystems, or a farmer? Is there a gardener who inspires you? Is there a herbologist or somebody who works in plant medicine that that you connect with? And so also, this feels like guiding you to wellness through plant medicine yourself, or connection with the earth, or connection with plants. Okay. These cards feel the Illuminated Earth Oracle feels so healing. There's also an aspect to this card of slowing down. Slowing down is really, really important. You are from India. Okay. You're from India. Okay. India. Where are you in okay. So we're looking at balance. So on the feminine side, we have 4 of emotions, and we have 6 of materials on the other side. Interesting. Okay. Shine, are you emotionally challenged? Like, do you feel like the card on the left? Do you feel moody? And I just wonder, sometimes the cards just connect deeply. The reason I'm asking is it feels like the energy of the feminine energy on the left is not an attractive, what do I want to say? In order to invite a partner into your life, there's a process that is yet incomplete. And so the card on the left is one of bringing your emotions into a place that is more inviting. And I want to look at this art, but I have a few things I want to say. There's an overwhelming sense of something here. It almost feels as if, in another way, it feels like it's been too much. This feels deeply connected to the eight. For those of you that read tarot, to the Eight of Cups. That sense of like, please don't suggest anything else. Don't try to fix me. Don't send me to a counselor. Leave me alone. Give me some space. But the truth is, if you, right? So this is a card of isolation. This is a card of connection. And I can't get away from this, the connection between these two cards. It feels like the mood or the physical health needs to be improved through plant medicine. Maybe it's about the digestion, but I feel like it's more about the mind and the heart. And there's a component to this card on the left as well about releasing and letting go. And if you look at the image here, one of the metaphors that I often use in love questions is that if our cup, right, if our cup is full, there's no room for a new person, right? We have to let go and unpack some stuff so there's space for a relationship. If you, Shine, or anyone out there who's watching this, if you are overwhelmed and full of emotion and full of mental challenges, it's not the time for a relationship. So it's really important to start releasing and letting that go and finding a way to do that. And sometimes we need help. And I feel like the card in the center is the help. And so the plants speak to healthy foods, mindful eating, plant medicines, and so forth. Okay. And then the card on the right is extremely optimistic. So this is about sharing and connection. So it feels like there's a step A and then step B. And the B is about finding groups. It's about finding connections. Maybe you take up some kind of a dance class, or you get out into the community and you join an activity. Maybe you volunteer, or you do seva somewhere, and through your giving you receive. So the card on the right is about getting involved in something. The energy of that card is one of giving and receiving, and balance through giving and receiving. And it's very, very dynamic card. And again, it's interesting that this is full of roses. I was talking about this with somebody else earlier. And so make sure that you're giving to yourself as well too. And this ties in beautifully with the card in the center, the giving yourself self-care. So I feel like there's a process of self-healing that needs to happen before you'll be ready and in a better place to move into a relationship. Thank you, Shine. And thank you to everybody in the chat. I'm just reading your responses for Shine in the chat. Okay. I'm just going to look for Helen's question. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to have a sip of something. You are just wonderful. I love all of you in the chat. It's just beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay. And I want to see if I missed anybody in the... Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so we're at Helen. It's funny, this octopus card always gets me. It's one card in the deck that is like, oh. I think it's very unusual. Maybe it's going to come up in the next reading. Okay, so Helen says, I'd love some guidance on my spiritual journey, whatever comes through. Okay, so let's do the 3 cards as planned. Left, yin, right, yang, center, overall meaning. Balance, right? Creating balance. And hashtag Tarot was talking about the Wheel of Fortune being ruled by Jupiter. And if you, this goes way back to the very first reading. I believe it was the first reading. If you do some reading about the cycle of Jupiter over the past year, you might get some more insight into your health. I believe it was a health question we were looking at. Yeah. All right, so let's focus on Helen. What is the overall message to help bring... Well, let's just focus on her thing. Guidance on her spiritual journey. Okay, so the central card, Helen, is supporting you on your spiritual journey, and it's going to provide insight, perhaps into focus, bring focus to your spiritual journey. Look at that, moon cycles. The keyword is influence. This feels very Agnya Chakra kind of energy. However, it's lunar cycles, so it's very High Priestess kind of energy, right? Lunar cycles, influence of the moon. This is about being more in tune with and making choices according to the lunar cycle. So as the moon begins to wax, we slow down a little bit. We regroup. We take time for integration. And as the moon begins to wane, we slow down a little bit and take time for integration. And the darker the moon becomes, the more internal we become. As the moon begins to wax, we begin to grow with the moon and become more active. Right? So influence of the moon, perhaps, or influence of other cycles. Okay, we do have a jumper card, which is 9 of inspiration. 2 of materials, which we had today already. That's our second repeating card. Another repeating card, 4 voices. Okay. So I will address the jumper card in a minute. Okay. So on the feminine side, do you know this whole set of cards? And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And if for those of you, there's quite a few astrologers in the chat as well too. What is the astrological connection with the amount of self-care messages that have been coming through at this time? Because this feels like self-care. This feels very heart, compassion, love for self, unconditional love for self, taking good care of one's, not only one's physical body, but also for one's emotional health. So I'm really curious if there is something in the stars that is influencing this particular awareness or importance of self-love and self-care. Okay, and so Andrew says Virgo Sun and Pisces Moon are known to be the healers. Okay. We have earth, water, air. Earth, water, air. So that in itself feels, right? Those are all different elements. One of the things I suggested in the Facebook group, I would love for those of you that are in the Facebook group to post pictures of how you are shifting your altars for the equinox. And if you have any ideas for people to bring deeper awareness of how significant balance is. And it's almost as if, so one of the things I love about altars is that when we place something on an altar, we can look at it daily or multiple times a day. And it's almost as if that reflection goes into our soul at a cellular level. And so the intention we place on the altar moves, into the soul. Okay. There's something else here that I am. So these rays of light are not coming from the throat. They're coming from the eyes. Which is really interesting. So I'm doing a series right now on the Marielle Tarot, and the suit of air in the Marielle is deeply connected to our spirituality. It has almost a higher frequency. I want to say it focuses on the higher frequency of the suit of air, which is connecting us to spirit. And I feel like in the suit of voices, this is not about the throat. This is about the here we're looking at the three-dimensional eye, but this is talking about the fifth dimensional eye, talking about the pineal gland, the third eye chakra, the Agnya chakra. So I want to say, Helen, to be also doing some exercises to stimulate and expand the third eye chakra. Specific breathing techniques and meditation techniques to stimulate Agnya chakra feels really important here. Okay. Feels like you got lots of information in these 3 cards. Claire is picking up on lots of Jupiter. Expansiveness. Jupiter is also guru energy, right? Jupiter is the guru planet. Okay. It's a very cool combination of cards, Helen. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Donna says, I can't wait for Pluto to move on. My son is 24 Cancer, so been exactly opposite Pluto forever. Ishi, it's also a time to grow if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, so perhaps a time for self-care before a flourish of activity, right? So you have the strength and the energy to sustain that more active and busy season. That makes sense. And Nora says, today is Uttra Bhadrapada moon. It is the birth nakshatra of Lakshmi and the moon in Pesach Venus exaltation. Okay. Love this. Now, another astrologer suggested that this nakshatra is also deeply connected to ancestry. And so this next 2 weeks is one to lean into the medicine of the ancestors as well, too. Okay. It is, there's another deck that does this where we have little figures and big figures that kind of connect with each other, and it's really powerful. Oh, Andrew, that's beautiful. Andrew just visited Graves for Korean Thanksgiving. Okay. All right, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to do one more reading today, and let me find a question. All right. Clara has a question. Clara, if I did this, I would do this as a members only series for the reason, or I would do it as a course. I would not do this on a public chat. Yeah. And if there's enough people interested, for sure, that is something that I could do. So let me know. Yeah. Okay. So the last reading for today is going to be Leafy. Okay. Oh, and I want to address this 9 of inspiration. So let's look at this. This was the jumper card. This was the jumper card. One of the things in this deck that really, really intrigues me and I like to watch are the paths. And there's a path that's going off in the back here. There's a path that's heading in behind this this human. And I know that the 9s lead very much to the this particular 9 of inspiration. I think it leads to the what is it? Is it the muse of inspiration? There's something about that card that leads to another card. It's actually a pathway to another card. So if you have this deck, I would definitely follow that path. But also, I just feel a tremendous amount of inspiration in that card. I feel an abundance of inspiration. So this has nothing to do with Leafy's question. This is the previous querent. So it's full of joy. It's full of orange, right? It's a lot of inspiration. And again, I feel, I mean, this whole deck is a lot of feminine energy, but it feels more like fiery feminine energy. And so, yeah, there's a lot of different directions you could be moving at this time. But the initial impression of self-care feels like the first step to finding some clarity on your spiritual journey. Donna, I believe you are right. And I want to address this. I think this is an important, because we've had a lot of astrological comments here today. And I'm going to go back, Leafy, to your question in a few minutes. This is, so the last 20 degrees and the first 40 degrees are connected through this particular system. And so I can just get out my chart for you. I have a chart that I keep handy when I'm doing readings. Just give me 1 second. All right. So let's do this. Okay, so where are we right now? I'm just going to go to Libra. And we are at the end of Virgo. Okay. What I was saying about the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Swords being the Queen of Swords being cardinal air. The Queen of Swords in the Golden Dawn system begins in the last 20 degrees of Virgo. So Queen of Swords energy starts at the 12th of September and goes until about the 12th of October. And so the end of Libra, the last 20 degrees of Libra, is the King of Cups. And so there's this link with the cards between the sun signs. Now, this Golden Dawn system is not the system that everybody uses. Because of this overlap, there's a whole other system where the court cards and the minor cards are more in alignment and they don't overlap the sun signs. And so what Claire has been, #tarot, has been referring to throughout the chat today is only one particular system. And there's different ways of looking at this. And so if you're interested beyond the major arcana, it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating to start to study these systems. It's like when you open the can of worms in studying the tree of life and the relationships between the tree of life and the tarot, you start to learn that there's many, many interpretations. And it's not just what is coming through the Thoth tarot, but there's other ways to look at it as well too. So yeah, so my advice is when you're reading tarot is to really to step back a little bit, to allow yourself to pause, to look at the cards, to look at the big picture, to allow your intuition to come through first. And then you can add the layers of the systems that you're familiar with, because there's lots of different ways to look at all of this. Okay. Yes, Aleister Crowley is part of the Golden Dawn. Okay. And speaking of this, so I've told you that I want to do something with the Thoth. I've been just sitting watching Netflix, and I have trimmed my greenie. This is the first time I've trimmed the thoth. So this is what my greenie looks like now. I love it like this. So much more manageable. Yeah. And I think I haven't decided what I'm going to edge it in. And I don't even know if I'm going to edge it, but have any of you trimmed and edged your Thoth Tarot? And ooh, you know what? I think bronze. I think if I have a metallic bronze, I'm going to edge it in metallic bronze. Yeah. I also trimmed my lovely Om Tarot. Look, I've been sitting and cutting. So this is what the lovely Om looks like now that oh, Amber, stop it. You just bumped my table. I took off 3 of the sides on the lovely Om. So it looks so much better. And the back is centered. So the Om is in the center, which is, or pretty near center, which is really interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's get to Leafy's reading. Leafy has been very patient. Let's go back up and find Leafy. Oh my goodness, am I going to be able to find it? There we go. There's Leafy. And I will go back to the chat over here. Okay. Hey, Mary, I'm doing my last question for today. So if you want to come back on Saturday, Andrew, Well-Tempered Claire, and I are going to be reading on Saturday. And the thumbnail's already up for that. That's going to be 10 o'clock Pacific. So I hope some of you can join us on Saturday. Okay, so last reading is for Leafy. Okay, so I'm doing the tarot first. So we'll do the 2 outside cards first. This card always reminds me of a strainer. I don't know why. So that's the 9 of Materials, which is a great card, and the Queen. So we're very, so this is an earth-based reading. So both sides of the coin, both sides of the balance are inviting green witch kind of energy, right? So as you, yeah, so this feels like, it feels like everything I love to do, you know, like walking in the forest and mantra meditation in the forest and crystals and making teas and plant medicine and that kind of stuff. And, you know, when I look at this card, I can't get away from the Queen of Materials, the Queen of Pentacles in the textured tarot. You know, the card with the woman doing pottery with the clay, and she's surrounded by nature and flower and plants. I feel like Spirit is inviting you to get your hands dirty. Maybe your medicine is in some kind of gardening. And if it's winter where you are, that would maybe some kind of hydroponic indoor gardening. Yeah. Okay, so gratitude. That feels really important here as well, too. Excuse me. Amber. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Sorry about that. That was a big bark. So that's probably a bear, I'm guessing. Sadhana, if you have just a moment before you sign off, would you give your interpretation of the art on the Hierophant card on the Muse deck? Of course, I'm happy to do that. And Leafy, your other card is Epiphany, which is, oh my goodness, that's such a beautiful card for this particular question. So I want to invite you to really trust the signs. Really, really trust them. And this is about listening. It's about a listening heart, being quiet. So we need to be quiet, and I feel like sometimes when we are working with spirit, we're nattering away. You know, we natter, and we don't listen enough. So it feels like in order for the epiphany to be heard, we need to be extremely quiet. So I'm just looking for the Hierophant card so we can close with that. The Priestess. Okay. How many of you work with the Muse Tarot? Do you I'm curious. Okay. All right. Okay. This is so beautiful. Here's the High Priestess. And here's the Hierophant. I think it's interesting to look at these two cards side by side. Okay, so let's go down, down, down. Clara likes to work with it. And here we go. Okay, so this is... okay. I see there's another amazing question. Oh, there's so many lovely comments. Okay, I feel like I'm not going to be signing off for a long time. The Hierophant is on a rock. And to me, that symbolizes a mountain. It takes me to the energy of Shiva, to the Himalayas. I have had some epiphanies, if you want to call them that. I've had some amazing transporting meditations that have taken me deep into the Himalayas. I often see snow, and I have connected with Shiva there a couple of times. And so when I look at this card, I see the mountain, and I see the hermit climbing the mountain. And part of that is just about walking the spiritual path, walking a challenging path, wanting to see from on high. So there's the other thing that's coming through for me, Donna, is that, and this goes way back to my 20s. So when I was in my early 20s, I lived in Japan, and I was on a deep spiritual quest. I went to temples and shrines all over the country. And one of the things that struck me was a lot of the shrines, and temples too, especially shrines, are up on top of hills and up on top of mountains. And there's this process of climbing stairs in order to get to God, right? In order to get to spirit. And sometimes depending on how rural it is, you're invited to carry water, or there's things that need to be taken up to the shrine themselves. So if we can climb the mountain, if we can climb the metaphorical mountain, we can get closer to spirit. Okay, so that's one thing that I see here. The hermit, or the several seekers that are in this card, are guided by the light. The path is lit. And so we have, I think there's two, a couple of seekers in the foreground that are making their way up the mountain, making their way towards spirit. And then we have a guru, if you will, at the top of the mountain, who is there to enlighten, guide. Yeah, so those are a couple of my thoughts. Clara said, I did a pilgrimage to Mani. No, that's not that one. I did a pilgrimage to Mani Mahesh in the Himalayas to meet with Shiva. It was amazing. Beautiful. We have so many connections. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, I'm going to go to... Okay, so that was Donna's question. And then... oh, this is the one. Okay. Do you believe trees have souls, and do they recognize us? Oh my God. Oh, if you could join me. Have you seen my walk with me videos? I've done a few videos, and I have a playlist on my nature walks. And right now, on a walk that I do pretty much every day, there is a large tree. It is so large that I cannot wrap my arms around it. So it would take probably 8 or 10 of me to wrap my arms around this tree. But every day I go to the tree, I go to the same spot on the bark, I place my hand on the bark and I say, "Hi, Ma, it's me." And I have a conversation with the tree. We have a deep connection. I receive messages, and this is my current tree. Now, going back many years, when I did my first, it was called a yoga ecology retreat. So part of our experience at the yoga ecology retreat was to sit with a tree. And so what we did was we offered all of the elements to the tree. I believe so I think I had rosemary or lavender with me, and we offered water, we offered smoke, and I had a bell, we offered sound, and we sat with our tree every single day. And some people were able to communicate with their tree and other people not so much. And so that was my first experience, where that was actually an exercise that we did on the retreat. So in answer to your question, yes. Big yes. Dr. Prachi, be back on Saturday, and so I can answer, or Andrew can answer your question on Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific. And same to you, Vani, be back on Saturday. I believe it's in our heart space. I believe it is at the union of So when the Kundalini energy rises and then descends, it's at the union of that experience where we find this, definitely connected to the heart space. And we could probably have a glimpse of it through heart chakra meditation. Short answer, Andrew. Thank you for sharing that, Ishi. Thank you. And if I go to the guidebook, I don't even know if I've ever read the guidebook for this deck. The guidebook for the Muse Tarot. Anyway, if you're asking the question, you obviously have the guidebook. You're welcome. You're welcome. And Andrew, thank you. I saw that's a beautiful connection. Okay. A soul tree. Yeah. And so I also want to let you know that inspired by Soul Trees, which is a deck that I work with quite often. This one is out of print right now. Soul Trees would actually look amazing with the Muse Tarot. And so I have received the new iteration of Soul Trees by Alison Williams Yee. And I am going to do oh my goodness. Oh, wow. I'm going to do a side-by-side of these two decks. Gratitude. Thank you, Susan. Enjoy the Ascension deck. May the artwork and messages inspire new discoveries, connecting you to your inner guidance and supporting your expansion. Blessings and gratitude, Allison. So yeah, so I'm going to do a side-by-side of Soul Trees and this new deck, which is called maybe Soul Trees Ascension or something. Yeah. So oh, and you know what? Look at this card of balance. Isn't that this was an extra card that was just wrapped on the outside of the deck. This is from Soul Trees themselves. But I think that's a perfect gift for the Equinox. That's lovely. And then the extra card space. I don't know what deck. Maybe this is from Soul Trees Ascension. I'm not sure. So you can look forward to that side by side, and we'll have a little chit chat about this amazing deck. Okay. All right. I'm going to go. I could chat with you all day. We could just sit here and drink tea and chat. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will be back on Friday. Friday, I am going to try to put together stay with the chakra theme, but do the deck combos and go through the chakras and bring in the oracle and the tarot decks. And it's a personal challenge for myself. I think I've done it before a long time ago, but I have way more decks in my collection now. So we'll see about that. So we'll see some of you on Friday, and then I'll be back on Saturday doing readings with Andrew. Take good care of yourselves. Thank you very much for supporting each other through the readings. Namaste. See you soon.